What's up, everyone? Yes, it is 10 to 11 at night and I am back to record another video because we've had a bit of a bombshell. The embargoed stories that come out after 10 p.m. have done the rounds, the newspaper stories for the next day, and surprise, surprise, Jurgen Klopp has dropped a bit of a bombshell. He said that we were all right, he was wrong, and that Liverpool will now actively look to bring in a midfielder before the window shuts on September the 1st. Now, there's some good and some bad stuff here. Firstly, I've got no idea who these targets might be, but it has been said that Jurgen Klopp was the one that pulled the plug on the idea of signing Matthias Nunes, who of course has gone to Wolves. He was the one that was identified as being a good fit, and Jurgen Klopp said he didn't want them, or we didn't need one. This is the stubbornness that we often speak about, but there is still time for this to be salvaged. I don't know who Jurgen Klopp is going to move on to next. I don't know who the target will be. I have no information on that, but I want to know who you're thinking, and I want to know what you think about this from the manager, because it's one thing for us to say, myself included, that FSG won't back the man. But if it was Jurgen Klopp's own stubbornness, then I have to say this was a massive error in judgment from Jurgen Klopp, because it was clear we needed a midfielder to many of us before the injuries. And now, well, look, now it's been obvious for the last week or so that we definitely need to get something done. I cannot believe if Matthias Nunes was the one that the scouting system identified for Kloppo, that he said no, we allowed him to go to Wolves. Because if you remember, he was hanging around, he was waiting, and there was a lot of stuff coming from the Portuguese side to suggest that Liverpool were interested, Abel Xavier being, of course, one of the people who mentioned it. Now, that's done and dusted. He is a Wolves player. We have to figure out who we're going to bring in. Honest answer is, right now, I don't know. Would I like Frankie de Jong? Absolutely I would. Is he available? Absolutely he is. Will Liverpool pay his wages? I very much doubt it, as the numbers being mentioned previously. But I've seen that Barcelona are willing to, or he's willing to take a pay cut to stay at Barca. So maybe his wage demands could be met. I don't know. I'm spitballing here. Tielemans, another name that's been doing the rounds. Then there are players like Sucic, who of course is a good long-term target, but at 19 years of age, would he be good enough to come in and do a job right now? Probably not. Not for the here and now. Long-term, we may well see this man at Liverpool. Then you look for Barella. Is there going to be any chance of that? I doubt it. And again, we're going to have our pants pulled down now, because clubs will know we're desperate for a midfielder. They will know that the clock is ticking, and we're probably going to have to pay a premium for that, or face missing out on signing a midfielder. It is frustrating, but it's also a little chink of light at the end of the tunnel, because we've known, most of us with rational thought processes have known that Liverpool need a midfielder. Jurgen Klopp seems to have been very, very stubborn on this one. And look, it is one of the few traits that we often speak about with our manager that frustrate us. For me, it's the substitutions as well, how long he leaves it before he hooks a player off who isn't performing. But at least we do have this piece of light now that it's not FSG. It's not that there isn't money available. It is that Jurgen Klopp didn't think we needed a midfielder, and now he does. So now the search begins. I'm as interested as you guys to try and figure out who this midfielder could be, and if we can get it done before the window closes. Will it be Jude Bellingham? I very, 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 very much doubt it. I mean, look, it's football, and in this mad world of ours, anything is possible. But no, I can't see it happening. Unless the Keita thing that I spoke about hypothetically earlier on was thrown in. But even at that, you're bringing in one and losing one. So yes, you'd be bringing in a fitter one in Bellingham, but look, I don't think that'd happen. So I want to know from you guys who you'd like Liverpool to look at. Tielemans is an obvious one because he's available. He's running down his contract with Leicester City, and he's been mentioned around the 18 million bracket. And for that, I think he would be worth a punt. I kind of liken this to the situation with Xherdan Shaqiri, where when he was relegated with Stoke, he wouldn't have been my first choice, but I understood at that price point, 12 million at the time, that it was worth a roll of the dice. If it works, it looks like a bargain. If it doesn't work, you can probably move him on. And I would say with Yuri Tielemans, it's the exact same. If you brought him in for 18 to 20 million, and he's 25 years of age, just by playing for Liverpool Football Club alone and getting more Champions League experience, he will go up in value. And if Jurgen Klopp deems in a year or two that it isn't working, I would say that we could move Yuri Tielemans on and turn a profit. I know it's not the answer. I know that I'm still looking short-term-ish here, but needs must and all that. And If our manager has been stubborn, then I guess he's going to have to lower his expectations just a little bit, because the player that was deemed the right fit, the player that reportedly was told to him, was Matthias Nunes, and we didn't sign him as much as he waited around. Wolves got him. West Ham tried to get him. We sat on our hands and allowed him to join. And it became extra infuriating when we seen that we were already linked with him. So we signed for Wolves, and then we were linked with next summer already for him, which would have just been stupidity. So what happens from here? Well, I guess it's a scramble now. I guess they have to start going down through the list. But as I said, being this public about it, leaving it this late in the window, I hope the club are prepared to pay a premium, either in wages or in a transfer fee, because that's what's most likely going to happen. Because if we take a midfielder from another club, particularly one of the calibre that they're good enough to play for Liverpool, that other club is going to have a short time to turn this around and to get themselves a replacement in. So unless there's a part exchange here, unless there's a player swap or a loan or something from us going out, I think this becomes difficult. But it is good to see that Jurgen Klopp's realised the error of his ways. And look, if you don't believe me, have a look yourself across social media. David Lynch said Liverpool are now actively looking to sign a midfielder before the transfer deadline, with Jurgen Klopp admitting I was wrong on the need for reinforcements. Anfield Edition say Klopp said now we go for midfielder. Same again, Paul Gorst as well, of the Echo, saying same thing. It is widely reported. I think the story stems from David Maddock. So look, the race is on. The clock is ticking. I want to know who you think is doable, and I want to know who you think is a good fit. And we're all praying for a Barella. We're all praying for a Bellingham, somebody of that ilk. But you know, the longer this window goes on, the more the advantages with the selling club, and the more the price goes up. So let's wait and see what happens. And I hope that we learn from this. I hope our manager learns from this, because it's okay to critique Jurgen. He isn't infallible. None of us are. And he needs to learn that sometimes, you know, this trust, this faith that he has placed in a lot of players can let him down occasionally. And ultimately, it is his job as manager that will be under threat if these players don't perform for him. So, yeah, if they're not showing him the level of commitment, and if they're not playing to the levels he knows that they can, then I think he's perfectly within his rights to look elsewhere and to look to bring in another couple of midfielders. So, fingers crossed. I'm really excited now, but I'm also nervous. Nervous because it's the great unknown, and we don't know what's going to happen between now and the time the window shuts at 11 p.m. on September the 1st. But we do have the good news that Jurgen Klopp's admitted that he made a mistake, and that the media and many people who thought we needed a midfielder, we need one. So go get it. So look, that's it for me. It was a bit of a late one tonight, a bit of a hurried video, because it's only just dropped as I was finishing our live stream over on Twitch, and I didn't want to forget about a YouTube audience. So I said I'd jump back on, record a quick reaction, but most importantly, what I want to know here is what you guys think, and who maybe you think we should go after, or who you've seen us being linked with that you think would be a good fit for the club. As always, I will catch you guys tomorrow for watch along over on our Twitch channel starting at 2 p.m. Drop a like on the video, hit that subscribe button for me, and keep your fingers crossed, because it's a good start, but we need to finish this. We need to get the player over the line before the window shuts. Talk to you guys soon. Have a cracking weekend. Bye bye.